The Freeport community wants answers as to who broke in and robbed Little Cubs Field a few days ago. WIFR news reporter Sydney Stoffregan talks to the pioneer behind the Pretzel City staple, who believes the culprits are kids.
Little Cubs Field is no stranger to headlines making national news when vandals removed the arm on the Harry Carey replica back in 2018. 6 years later, the field is back in the spotlight after thieves broke into the gift shop.
What's in there? Oh, I can see a donation jar.
Denny Garkey imagines what would prompt thieves to smash a window at Little Cubs Field and steal a substantial amount of cash from the register. Missing soda and candy bars leaves Garkey to believe the culprits were kids who crawled through the small opening in the shattered window.
I know who did this. These are kids. There's no adult coming in a window, stealing cash, and then having a candy bar. Just not the profile.
Communications Director Brian Bridge says Freeport is a place where people look out for each other. Little Cubs Field is such an important part of the Pretzel City, so he says the last thing the city wants to see is the organization hurting.
Even though it's a thief and, nothing life-threatening, we want to stop it where it's at. Whatever justice the police department can bring, I'm sure they're already on it.
Garkey says the field's board will discuss a more secure space for their earnings, but he says 16 years of minimal crime doesn't make them too concerned.
No, we're not going to have a security guard on duty or anything. It's a baseball field, man. You're here to have fun. Most kids understand that, and they have fun playing here. And yeah, we're not panicking. We're good.
Garkey says he is working with a business across the street whose security cameras point toward the Little Cubs Field. He assumes the footage will reveal the culprits striking at night.
Good idea. All right, thanks, Sydney. And as police investigate the robbery, Garkey encourages the thieves to come forward before this crime becomes part of their permanent record.